Alright guys, Manchester United have just beaten Arsenal by 3 goals to 1 in a not dominant performance, but still impressive nonetheless performance because they never really looked completely out of control, Man United. And this is an Arsenal team who have started the season with 5 straight wins. So this was going to be a test for Man United and they dealt with it reasonably well. Um, Arsenal didn't start the game great, but they managed to score a bit of a counter-attacking goal through Gabriel Martinelli. But there was a foul in the build-up. There's debate over is it or isn't it a foul. For me, I'm edging towards it is, but I think it's one of them where whatever is given, I don't think it's an outrageous decision because there's definitely reasons for and against. Because it was a bit of a soft push, but it is still a push nonetheless on Ericsson by Odegaard. But it was well taken by Martinelli. But yeah, from then on, United started to get a little bit more into the game. They started putting some good passes together. But their goal came from a good team move involving Sancho and Rashford. It wasn't too dissimilar to the goal they did score against Leicester the other night. I thought Lukonga's positioning was what caused the goal to ultimately go in, because what happened was Gabriel had to get pulled out of defence to just, I think it was Sancho he was closing down. So he gets pulled out of defence, leaving Saliba sort of isolated with Rashford, and he needed someone to come across and help him. Zinchenko did so, but that left Antony free on the right-hand side, and Rashford managed to slide it between Zinchenko and Saliba for Antony to score on his debut. So the positioning of Lukonga clearly affected the Arsenal defending in that instance, but it was well taken advantage of. It was well taken advantage of by Manchester United. Does that grammatically make sense? Who cares? You know what I mean? But yeah, brilliant start for Antony, goal on his debut. So it wasn't the greatest ever performance all round by him, but a goal on your debut, it's never going to hurt really. But I think it was a game that wasn't really... apart from where the goals were scored by Man United's attacking players, it wasn't a game where their attacking players looked particularly great, to be honest. It was just they were deadly when they needed to be, because they never really saw much of the ball. Arsenal then stepped it up a notch, could have scored before half-time. William Saliba definitely had a very good opportunity, and Arsenal did have multiple opportunities throughout the game. And in the second half, Arsenal, they continued to be dominant, and it was looking really good. They managed to get an equaliser through Bukayo Saka. It was the only point in the entire first hour of the game where United looked sloppy defensively. Jesus got played through, the ball fell to Saka. He had a fairly easy chance, just had to get the ball past Martinez or Malacia, I can't remember who it was. And yeah, he scored. But yeah, from then on, you're thinking, all right, Arsenal are going to turn up the pressure here and try and get a winner, because a win at Old Trafford would be a superb result. And they did continue to put the pressure on. But United got a bit of a sucker punch goal through Marcus Rashford, and it was a really, really well taken goal. I think it was Bruno Fernandes who played a brilliant ball through, and Rashford managed to tuck it away. And then Arteta made a couple of changes, which I found quite bizarre, to be honest. But I say a couple, it was all three, really. He decided to completely throw the kitchen sink at it, pretty much. He took off Zinchenko, he took off Martin Odegaard, and he also took off Lukonga, and brought on Fabio Vieira, Emile Smith-Rowe, and Eddie Nketiah. Right, so I can understand Nketiah completely, because Nketiah, against Fulham in that game, he came on and he played really well, and helped Arsenal to get a win in a difficult situation. So I completely understand the Nketiah substitution. Smith Rowe, I felt, wasn't the sort of game where he was going to be suited to. I feel as though he wants to do a similar thing with the ball that Gabriel Jesus does. So I felt as though, yeah, he wasn't really the player they needed in that situation. And Fabio Vieira, you don't bring on a player who's new to the club, who is an inexperienced player at the top level, and just chuck him on like that. That was a poor decision from him. So for me, I felt the substitution that clearly needed to be made was to bring on Nketiah for Lokonga, and that they go a little bit more attacking from there. Um, so yeah, it was poor decision making from Arteta, and ultimately it cost them as United managed to get a third goal. This time through Marcus Rashford. This one was a counter attack. Christian Eriksen squares it to Rashford. Rashford gets the tap in, and it was a brilliant game for Rashford. Scored 2 goals and got an assist. It's been a while since he's done something like that, getting 3 goal contributions in a single game. But yeah, United do look like they're firing now under Erik ten Hag. It was a really good counter-attacking performance. They didn't create loads of chances, but I wonder if this is like a view into what the future playing style under Erik ten Hag is for Manchester United. Because they are really solid defensively. They've got players now in Lisandro Martinez, Malacia, Varane, and Dalot at the back who are sort of they're not just very good defenders, because I mean, if we're being brutally honest, Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, and Shaw, they're good defenders, but they've got this ability to dig deep and like properly fight to win, which I don't think you have as much in players like Lindelof and Luke Shaw. And that definitely helped them today. You can see when Lisandro Martinez makes a tackle, he celebrates it like he scores a goal sometimes. De Gea also made a couple of decent saves today, to be fair, as well. But I feel as though today, what won Manchester United the game was their ability on the counter attack, and also Arteta's inability today to make the correct decision when it came to substitutions. I'm not saying that had Arteta not made those subs, that Arsenal would have got something out of the game, because they were 2-1 down. But I feel as though they would have had a better opportunity to do that. Because what happened was they changed the entire formation as well. They went from a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, if you like. It varies based on what position on the pitch they're in. So they went to a 3 at the back, pushing Ben White into his natural position, but bringing Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli so deep they're struggling to get involved in the attack. So yeah, it wasn't the correct decision at all. And also it meant that Emile Smith-Rowe, Fabio Vieira and Granit Xhaka were playing in midfield, which was a really unbalanced midfield that was always just going to get picked apart by quality players like Christian Eriksen. Eriksen, I haven't said enough about him. Eriksen was absolutely superb today. Some of his passes were just incredible. He is a step up on McTominay and Fred in terms of creativity, because McTominay and Fred, there's always been this thing about United under Solskjaer. They had some brilliant results against Manchester City. I remember in the 2019-20 season, I think United beat City something like 3 times in 4 games, and then the season after they also beat them. So yeah, what McTominay and Fred are doing is like they're very good at working hard, but they're not good in games where you need to like get on the ball a little bit as well and try and make forward-thinking passes. Because what United did in those games against Manchester City, from memory, is they got an early goal and then they sort of tried to hold on to it as much as possible, and they somehow succeeded in doing so. I think that also came in a season where Manchester City were off the pace a little bit. They had a lot of defensive injuries, if I'm correct. But yeah, it is looking very much up for United. It's not looking down for Arsenal. Arsenal are still top of the table thanks to Aston Villa getting a draw against Manchester City. Unlucky, some might say, to actually get a win as well. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.